Now, talking about communication today as opposed to 10 years ago, so much is done by, I'd love to talk about email as well, but first let's talk about social media.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we know social media is, it changed the rules, how we communicate, and we could lament it perhaps. What would you say are the kind of do's and don'ts for good communication on social media?
Well, number one, it's something people need to really, really, really put their arms around and decide to have a relationship with. Social media is not going anywhere. Facebook is not going anywhere. Right. If you're somebody who says, I don't really want to deal with that, find somebody who can gently bring you into it and give you an understanding. To me, it is a gold mine. It's a gold mine for outreach to the people I want to be reaching and having conversations with. Mm-hmm. And in this past year, we've seen it used in a way that hasn't been as positive.
Right.
And so it's turned a lot of people off. But I jokingly say to people that there has never been a more beautiful way to have everything look the way you want it to than now. You can decide who you look at. You can decide what you see. And you have control over, you are in communication with how often you look at it and what you see when you get there.
Now, let's talk about email. Now, one is email marketing, but even just in communication 101 email. We know that people, technically take shortcuts from the way they would draft a real warm letter from one to another via U.S. mail. What tips would you recommend in someone crafts an email? Again, a good one-on-one email that they want to communicate something.
Right. If we want to communicate something, we inevitably want to be forming a relationship with the person on the other side. Mm-hmm. A very powerful improv tool to please the audience is called reincorporation. When the audience hears something that's happened earlier in the scene or earlier in the show, reincorporated into a moment, we call that ear candy. The audience leans forward because they think, wow, I heard that before, and the person remembered it, was thoughtful enough to bring it back. When we're writing emails, we always have an opportunity. We're being given an offer to have a relationship, get out of our heads in the prior email. So this is the strategy I suggest my clients and audiences use. When you receive an email from someone, they've written a lot of words in there. Mm-hmm. They've given you information. There is generally a word or phrase that they've said that you can repeat back to them in your email. It says, I heard you, I read you, I understood you, and now I'm with you, having this communication. It's very pleasing to your audience to see that you took time to really read their email. You took time to understand, and now you are looking to have a relationship moving forward. It's very transformative, and it gets you out of your head. Because a lot of times we want to, okay, someone just sent me an email now. I need this from him. I need this from her. Take a deep breath. Make sure when you're writing emails, you have time to be writing emails, especially when they're important. And be
It sounds so
thoughtful.
simple, but that is
It is so important.
Because we know that, the average person gets, 100 to 200 emails a day.
Mm-hmm.
And you try to just bang them out, get the responses out. But you're saying if something requires your attention and your time, put the time in.
Yeah.
Don't just fire off something and write something cryptic.
Right. And you said the large number of emails, 10 to 20 of those are very important.
Right,
10 to 20
point.
Of those.
Segment them out.
Yes, 10 to 20 of those are worth the extra 30 to 60 seconds I just suggested you take.
Amazing.
Isn't that amazing? It takes 30 to 60 seconds to review somebody's email and to find the ear candy, or the eye candy as I call it, that you say, ooh, that resonates with me. I like that. And maybe even you say to that person in the email, oh, you know what really resonated with me? This. Keep it brief, keep it impactful, keep it generous and thoughtful.
And how many times, this is almost a I don't want to say a stupid question, but just how often is this violated where people just look at an email, jump to a conclusion? If they would just read it a second time or read it slowly, then they would see that there was an entirely different intention in that email.
I've done that. I've read things too quickly. I've been in haste running from one place to another. I quickly look at it when I shouldn't have, but I do. I always have practiced taking a moment, especially when I have a reaction to an email. If I haven't a reaction to it, I make sure, I'm going to read that later before I respond. And always, always, always take a deep breath. If it's something conjuring up conflict in you, take a deep breath, walk away from the space where you do the email. If you can wait an hour or a little bit, do it, and then go back to it. But be mindful. I love that the name of the show is Mind Your Business. When we are aware of our mindfulness in every space we enter, and then that is my work, that in every space we enter, we have an opportunity to take another 30 to 60 seconds and be more mindful about our communication.
I love the honor of interviewing C-level executives and sharing their great advice and perspective on Mind Your Business. I'd love to get your feedback. Post it in the comments below and subscribe. You'll never miss an edition of Mind Your Business.